What are we doing, Michael?
We're scheming.
What are we scheming?
We're trying to bet on our future.
Yeah.
We may be a little bit selfish in this, but that's irrelevant to the conversation.
Well, in what way are we betting on our future?
So what a lot of people don't realize is when kids come to these competitions, if they win, not always, but most of the time, they have to provide their travel expenses to national, which could be up to $1,500, $2,000 or more.
Right.
So we want to make sure whenever we're at nationals in Atlanta, we got a local representative down there.
A horse to bet on.
A horse to bet on. So we're invested.
Yeah.
So yourself, Bob, and myself
are trying to figure out a way
to pay for travel expenses, but not get taken advantage of.
But not get taken advantage of. So
basically we're trying to outsmart kids.
We're putting on the 2024 Skills USA Indiana Heavy Equipment Operating Competition. I have a brandy new X37C mini excavator on the trailer. We put this exercise together and I'm really excited about it. Super excited because the contestants this year are going to have a rodeo style event, but between Diamond Equipment, who's provided this mini excavator for us and has been a great partner of ours over last year, we're putting the competition on together, and Bob came up with a couple ideas, I came up with a couple ideas. Dirt Perfect has kind of been a part of the thinking and will be here today, but it's basically a lamb job. Pretty excited to let these kids take a shot at a rodeo that is built just like one of my jobs. I think Dirt Perfect and I are probably going to test run the course some today. All right, well, we're here at the Indiana State Fairgrounds for the Skills USA Indiana State Skills and
the state skills competition, right, Jeff?
Well, I think it has an official name. It's the...
All we care about is heavy equipment, right?
That's right. This is Bob Brucken from Diamond Equipment. Bob's been a great partner of ours now for about a year. Our first event together was here last year.
A year ago. It was a great success, actually. And this year we're doubling attendance, doubling members.
So it's proof it's working, because last year we had 4 kids and I believe we have 10?
10 this year.
And we've also doubled what else, Bob?
We've doubled the amount of equipment we have this year.
Check this sweet CX37C out. Bob had it dropped out at the Lamb Ranch yesterday, and last night we learned it's got great lights on it.
It has great lights on it. It has great picking power, so Jeff hasn't turned it over yet, which is good. But it's a very smooth machine. Should work wonderful for the competitors in this competition.
Yeah, so I've been messing around on it quite a bit. I'm certainly more comfortable on the 37C than I am the 185B, but we've got a job here, and it's all kind of off of the Lamb Excavating bid sheet. So these kids are going to be working with real numbers, real dollar values for some of the consequences, and there's no right or wrong way to do this job. It's the end goal. So let's start by walking them through that.
Let's walk them.
This stack of tires here is the material, and the customer wants on a right angle off of this corner of the pole an assembled stack of tires with a large tire for a base and then 3 small tires neatly stacked on top of it. So that's going to be pretty close to here where the drips on the floor are. We have a utility that will be damaged if a machine crosses it in between these cones and out to that cone. And we have an area of yard that the customer wants to keep undisturbed, so they're going to have to use some ground protection to cross the yard. with the excavator if they plan to use the excavator to move from here to there, which they kind of have to because the penalty for a damaged utility is probably going to put you out of contention. That's correct. So that means no skid steer crossing over that utility at this time. Correct. Now we've got this SV185B. I haven't quite tamed her yet, but it's a very, very sensitive machine, responsive, and I'm sure if I sat on it, as long as I've sat on other skid steers, I would probably love to operate it as long as it had tracks. But we're on concrete, so we wanted to bring a tire machine because, as you can see, we're leaving lots of tires on the floor, and it's a little more affordable to leave tires on the floor than tracks. Without a doubt. So we do have a track special going on right now, Jeff. So anyway, track special at Diamond Equipment if you need tracks. I wish I would have known this because I have a brand new set of tracks for one of our machines sitting on the yard, but we will definitely call you next time we need tracks. I hadn't thought about that. We've got 2 attachments for the skid steer and a ball on a cone. And in order to complete the job, the customer wants that ball inside of that structure of tires. And because it's a game, we're gonna tell them that they have to handle the ball any way they can. Right, with each attachment. With each attachment, if they have to use it, they can do work by hand by using a small trench shovel as well. We're going to leave it up to the competitors on just how they are going to complete this job. Right, and then we're going to tabulate all the expenses associated with their completion of the job, and the winner is going to be, for the team portion, the pair of contestants that accumulated the least amount of cost for their entire job. And on the individual competitions, when you're being scored individually in each machine, the lowest cost of the skid steer portion, the lowest cost of the excavator portion. And so that is kind of our final exam, so to speak, of this year's Indiana State Leadership and Skills Conference. Nailed it. You nailed it. I don't know that I knew that one, actually. Good for you. Anyway, the cat dragged somebody in. We'll go see if we can find him.
Gentlemen, question for you. What are we gonna do if a bunch of highly skilled children show up and beat us grown men?
We're gonna be very excited for the future.
That is a very good point.
That is
because that would mean that if I could hire a few of those people that were more skilled than me, we could probably go race more.
So, you know, some of the best video I've got on my channel, I'm gonna keep my face behind the camera for now. Some of the best video I've got on my channel is salesmen operating equipment.
Yes. Oh, well, you know what? I won't make this. I'll make that happen.
I forgot to tell you, Bob, there is an asterisk. If we end up with an uneven number of teams, you are the fill-in, because this guy and I run these things almost every day, and it's got to be.
Well, I've never operated a single piece of equipment in my life, so this may take all day for me to complete. I will be happy to show you how to do that.
This proves the point that some people belong in the office, but we need people in those seats as well.
Right, absolutely. But you know, the fact of the matter is that I know nothing about the machines. I know nothing about operating, but I had the resources to bring them here so these gentlemen can teach.
Let the entertainment begin. So, all right, we are obviously on Jeff's channel, and I am not Jeff. I've kind of hijacked his camera here and taken over.
So, for reasons we can't discuss, there will be no Dirt Perfect video footage from here. So we're just going to let Mike do his thing with our camera for the rest of the day, I think.
All right, so what's our plan? We're gonna do a test run. You've already gave me I'm late to the party. If I'm repeating something, I'm sorry, people. I'm late to the party. Are we gonna do a test run of our prototype, or it's not a prototype job? What is this?
This is our job.
Simulated job.
It's a simulated job.
It's a real job, Mike.
Simulated job.
Pays a trip to the nationals.
I can guarantee you one thing. I'll promise you nobody's digging below grade on this.
Well, I mean, we walked them through the exercise, and you don't have to. We got at-grade utilities. We got a yard. See, it says yard.
I mean, you guys went all out on that.
At least it's spelled correctly.
And
it's probably better than what I could do.
we have a mystery customer that we have not yet quoted a price to build an illustrious tire statue to their specification and put that ball on this other piece of yard landscaping into our new statue at their appropriate location.
Serious question. How many extra balls do we have?
Only one.
Oh boy.
One extra. Absolutely. But we've got balls.
Okay. I'm just asking because I've been down this road before. All right, are we gonna do a test run through? And
So at Lamb Excavating, I kind of usually bid jobs by saying, how long does that normally take me, or what I think that's gonna take me? And I add about 25% to it to have our guys go out and execute it, because usually how fast you think you're gonna do it is not actually how fast you're gonna do it. So
there's always unforeseen circumstances.
that's proven to work for our business. So I built this exercise, or we're gonna run this exercise the same way I would run a bid, but I need to figure out my sales price. So since we've never done this before, and usually when I estimate something, I've done it at least once or something very similar, and I've yet to be working on a site like this. So I think we better do a test run, one of us in each machine working together, and then flip-flop and see kind of how long they should take.
I can operate a machine. I'm fair game. Let's do it.
If we can be done by time you've got to go speak at 1 o'clock.
Oh yeah, I got important stuff to say, I'm sure. I should probably write that.
I'm sure it'll all come off the cuff, right?
Oh
Mike?
yeah, it'll be great.
Perfect. Well,
hey, if you've been around me, there is nothing staged or anything. It's just
real life.
It's like this video clip. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
Reality YouTube.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the other legal people say we're not TV. They're very clear about that.
But you said you weren't really involving a legal team in Dirt Perfect.
Nope.
So
that's why I'm holding your camera, not mine. It works out great.
It does.
This is a loophole.
And Mike walked right through it.
Yeah.
sweet. Well, let's run some.
All right, who's going first? Which one?
We got to
You
go
gotta
at
do
the
it
same time.
I know,
It's
but
a
I want the
sim-
excavator first.
Go
That's
for it.
fine. I'll run the skid steer first. We probably should go find somebody to hold the camera, Bob.
Oh, I found somebody.
I was going to say, I think I can do that.
And once they get this laid out, one of these two individuals is going to be put into this skid steer and go through an obstacle to complete a portion of this job. We have yet to determine who's going to do what. And this is the spot,
That's the spot.
and it's official, and it's right.
Well, we're counting on the fact that our surveying methods are going to be close enough that the circumference of the tire will be over whatever the inspector shows up and measures.
All right, so we're walking across the yard, setting the tires. And then walking right across the yard, right?
Well, you're going to walk across the yard, set the tires, and I mean, my opinion is you ought to hang around in case we miss the dump and the wall rolls over there. You can grab it with the hoe and put it in the hole.
Missed it.
Well,
That's an option.
remember, you've got him in the skid steer right now.
Well, and you haven't run the skid steer yet to know something that I know from practice.
Yeah,
Yes,
I got a
but
good
it's-
idea of those tires scooting on the concrete. Thanks keep that ball before.
Well, we haven't turned the hydraulics all the way down yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
Because Jeff is a professional, right?
there's that, and then there's also the fact that you got to handle it with both. So we got to decide.
How does it handle to the left?
Not as good as a race car. We got to decide what order we're going to go. I think I'm going to approach it where I'm going to pick the ball up with the forks and dump it into the bucket, and then come back and change to the bucket and try to dump it out of the bucket into the tires, because I feel like dumping it out of the bucket onto those forks is going to be a likely stop for hand labor.
I got another idea. I don't know if it'll work. Stay tuned.
All right, well, you get to go on the skid steer too. So
At some
try
point
it
he
your
does.
way. But we're collaborating, because even if you have a royal pain in the rear for a coworker like him, you got to figure out how to get the job done right the first time.
What happens when you have two bosses on the job?
So
who's in control?
I guess we should probably get going.
Yeah, time's money.
Time is money.
Yeah, time's money.
Well, it looks like Mr. Simon's going to take to the excavator, and we will see what Mr. Dodge does in the skid steer. In the first portion of this job, does Mr. Simon have questions on the excavator?
It started now. We're good.
Okay, good. It's your repair cost. Now this excavator is going to have to run on some ground protection because the customer is very, very particular about this yard, and he does not want it messed up in any way. Mike's laying out the yard protection. Jeff is determining whether or not we can get this ball onto the forks. He struggled a bit today. This time, sure, when he's in front of the camera, he actually is performing. Jeff's goal is to put that ball into the bucket. And then we'll have to take the forks off and put them back in the designated area. Without destroying the bucket. Mike seems a little more adept on the excavator than where Jeff is on the skid steer right now. But it is accomplished. Mike has started the tire tower. Which appears to be complete at this point. Now, an important point here. So we've got utilities laying on the ground. This excavator or skid steer somehow damages those utilities. It's going to be very costly for these two boys. Jeff drops his next attachment. Now he'll have to pick up the bucket with the ball inside. Is that a cost of doing business? Time is money, right?
Time is money.
You know, while we're sitting here talking,
You think I should build it twice just for the heck of it?
Let's see if you could do it twice to his. Well, I think it could be done. Now, what I don't know is the customer going to actually accept that tire tower. It truly
There
is.
is no speculations on how it has to
Well, true. If there was no specification on how straight, how plumb,
If he was smart, he would dump that ball in my bucket when he left.
it doesn't matter how it gets done. But I do believe the rules say that the skid steer has to dump
Oh, well,
it
that's
into.
no fair.
You know, you came awfully close to damaging the sewer line, Mr. Simon. How did that work?
This is not horseshoes or hand grenades.
It's not right now, but it could be.
It could be.
Let's see how Mr. Dodge is doing. Uh-oh. Well, he is in the state of Indiana, so he should be able to play basketball pretty well.
Where's my ball?
They actually are working together. See if we can't. Jeff's asking for help from his partner. You always have to have someone that knows more than the other. The fact they're working together. You've got a spotter in the excavator. Got a pro on the. Uh-oh. We've got to get the ball inside. One has it in. We'll try take two here. We've got a backboard. And it's in. Perfectly on the spot. Well within the range. Customers should be very happy.
Is our X up there or not? Bob, go pull the X. Bring it back. We got to do this legit.
Mike's doing it fast. That way I don't have to run. The old man doesn't have to run. That's what we do, right?
All right. So when you're ready, start the clock, and then we'll talk about our approach.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I got to remember how to start a clock. All right, roll.
All right. I say we just pull a tape and eyeball it because I think we'll be close enough.
I got this, buddy. I got this.
All right. Let's go.
I got this.
Go.
Sometimes you have to do the upbeat.
Now they've got to beat 8.5 minutes, or at least they're going to take an average of 8.5 minutes, about what it took from the last one. They're eyeballing.
That's within an inch and a half. That's a 14-inch tire.
It's within an inch and a half. We're gonna go
7 inches either way and still be in there.
You can. You're in good shape. That's math. That's math. Now math is hard, but try anyway. All right. Now we've got a switch. Mr. Dodge in the CX-3072. We'll see his technique as compared to Mr. Simon's. Once the attachment's dropped, he backs out. Time. Well, we'll see what's happening here, but they beat that by 3 minutes. So that made that, or 2 minutes and 41 seconds. So there is a theme here of who's waiting on who. You're just saying, right?
I'll let them figure it out. He's got editing power, so.
He does. He has the editing powers.
Have the editing
so he may make this to where.
But you're the judge.
I am constantly waiting on Mike. I just know what happened in real life.
Hey, job completed successfully. Nothing's tore up. Happy customer. Our serial lines are still in place. I didn't hit the neighbor's house.
Absolutely.
Pretty slick getting that ball in there, though, wasn't it?
That was pretty slick. But you did do something because you still had to go through the slalom one more time.
I did.
And you did. No one said you had to carry the ball through the slalom.
Exactly.
So there are many ways to complete a job
What's the
successfully.
saying? More than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're going to be nice. We're not going to say anything.
You can always tell an operator that gets paid by the hour and gets paid by the bid.
Yes. One piece at a time. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Simon?
Just a second. Look, he just destroyed the yard.
He just destroyed the yard. How much money did you cost us? Official time was 5:49.
Ain't you shabby?
Ain't you shabby?
Maybe how much faster your time is whenever you're not waiting on a skid steer operator.
Or if you're not waiting on an excavator operator. So Mike seems to think that there's a theme here.
You got a better chance to try something different on the skid
It
steer.
was my first time.
Well, yeah, but we talked about it. You saw what I did. You adapted.
I had to adapt my plan, though, because my original plan didn't work, so we had to go to plan 2.0.
Fair enough.
But it worked. Plan 2.0 worked pretty good.
5 minutes, 49 seconds.
I think we're hired.
I mean, since we get to take the average of our two efforts and add 25% to it, I'd say we're profitable.
Sweet.
You're very profitable.
Live to fight another day. Thanks, Kelly. Welcome, guys. Indiana State Skills Competition. You made it. Give yourself a round of applause. It's awesome. Before we get started, first off, I just want to thank them asking me to speak. It's quite the honor to be here to speak to you guys. But there's a group of people in this room that I don't think get the true recognition they deserve. Can I get all of the teachers, instructors, administrators, Anybody that had anything to do with getting these kids here today to stand up, please. I know for an absolute fact there was teachers in my lives, Nick Rice, Maurice Harpenow, Dan Hall, that made a difference, that made me the man I am here today. These guys do not do it for the money, I promise you. They do it for you guys, the kids. So if you get a chance, thank them and appreciate them for what they do. Give them a round of applause. All right, guys, I'm here today to kind of speak to you about the opportunities available to you in the trades and the opportunities I've had handed to me over the years being in the trades. I've been in the trades my whole life and wouldn't have it any other way. To kind of give you a little bit of background on me, I guess I'm going to date myself here a little bit. I actually competed in this competition back in '98 and '99. I was one of the rare guys in school. I knew from the very beginning exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't want an office job. I didn't want to work typing on a keyboard or staring at a screen. That wasn't for me. I wanted to be out in the open, stomping in the mud, greasy hands, whatever it might be. I wanted to be able to create stuff, build stuff, look over my shoulder at the end of the day and say, I did that. So, whenever I graduated in 2000, I went to a school some of you guys may recognize, Lincoln Technical Institute, right here in Indianapolis. Graduated from there, took a job as an oil change mechanic, night shift oil change mechanic at a dealership. I thought, boy, I made it big time now. And that lasted a week. Somehow I got promoted to assistant service manager and my butt went to the office. And did that for about 2 years, but what I did by doing that is I gained something that I realized I didn't have and I needed, and that's called experience. Experience is one of the most important things you guys will gain over your young career. The first couple years of your career, it's going to be all about getting that experience. What I also confirmed with that job is I did not like sitting on the clean side of the glass. I'm over here typing on a keyboard, scheduling, doing office stuff, and I see these guys out in the shop playing in the oil and engines and everything else, and I'm like, man, yep, it's confirmed. I was right. I don't want to be over here. So I made another change and actually went into the construction industry. I went to work for a guy that I used to work for back in high school. And traveling around, of all things, remodeling McDonald's is, I can tell you more about McDonald's than you'd ever care to know. But again, I gained that valuable experience. You guys are going to probably see that as a theme throughout my speech. It's going to be all about that experience. Did that for a couple years, and I eventually got to my goal in 2007 of what I wanted to do, and that was to be self-employed. But without those experiences I gained along the way, I never would have been successful being self-employed. There's two things, I promise you, along with experience that will take you farther in this industry, or any career, any job you choose, more than anything. That's accountability and attitude. If you guys can't show up for work, don't show up for work, I can't train you. I can't help you get that experience. It's impossible. Accountability also goes a step farther. Whenever you come to work for me or anybody else out there, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna screw up. That's normal, that's fine. It's how you deal with them, how you handle them, and how you go about them that makes the biggest difference and will set you guys apart from everybody else out there. Attitude. All I gotta say, guys, is don't be that guy. Attitude goes a long ways. Attitude gets overlooked as a quality. One that works well with others and is willing to share in a solution is a huge asset to any employer. And that's all based around attitude. I'll leave you guys with this. There's a lot of truth to the saying, if you follow your passion and do what you want, you'll never work a day in your life. And I am here to say that is 100% true. Don't chase the title, don't chase the salary, don't chase the money. Chase your passion, and the rest of it will fall into place. I can guarantee it. And last but not least, guys, whenever you choose your trade, no matter what it is, be proud of what you do. If you're a carpenter, tell people, I'm a damn carpenter, and I'm proud of it. If you're a welder, where's my welders back there? Let everybody know you're a welder and you're proud of it. Operators, insert any trades you want to right here. Go for it. Be proud of what you do. Share it with the world. Everybody needs you guys. The world needs tradespeople. It's one of the most rewarding careers you'll ever be in. You can drive down the road and say, I built that, I did that. How many other industries can you do that? Best of luck to all of you in competition. I hope to see you all, or at least some of you, in Atlanta. Thanks, guys.